You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show. Not a specific heavy metal band, no. What? Any recommendations?
No, I don't know. What kind of music do you like?
I'm pretty basic.
I think you should watch the movie Heavy Metal. Like, it was streaming on HBO.
Oh, the animated one?
Yeah.
That's fun. I like that movie.
And then watch the South Park where they do Butters goes. Have you seen this? He goes to a land of boobs and they do it in the style of Heavy Metal. I watched that, like, when that came out, I watched it with Mrs. Farx and we both laughed.
Welcome to Movie Bears with the Farx Brothers.
Moving on. And I'm Kyle.
And I'm Nick.
I think it's a great introduction. We're joined by Matthew Daniel Fjord.
Matthias Daniel Fjord.
It's always something different. Actor, writer, director, and editor. We're into the spoilers for The Siege.
So I wrote a review on Letterboxd after I saw The Siege.
What?
Do you want me to read
I want
my
you to
review?
read it, but give everyone your Letterboxd and make sure you give it to us.
Sprinter24 on Letterboxd. It's the same as my Instagram.
Why is it Sprinter?
A long time ago, there was a library book that was like a sci-fi novel that somebody had got from the library, I don't know who, and it was like laying on the table and it was called Sprinter, and I was like, that's a cool sci-fi thing, and I didn't associate it with running or anything. I was just like, oh, this is like a sci-fi thing, and I thought it sounded cool. And my username before that was Draco, and that was before Harry Potter. So everybody, I got sick of people asking me if I was like, oh, are you like Draco Malfoy? So yeah, that's why.
Nice.
It was only the screen name.
Yeah, it was only Sprinter24. All right, so that's my letterbox, and yeah, follow me. All right, I'm gonna read my review. It's kind of inflammatory. I don't want to offend anyone.
It's inflammatory? Oh man, this is exciting.
All right, The Siege is a 1998 Edward Zwick film, who he directed The Last Samurai, Blood Diamond and Glory. It reunites him with Denzel Washington for a political thriller about the FBI trying to stop bombings by Arab militant cells demanding the release of their leader, who was kidnapped by American general trying to, spoiler, instill a police state. On paper, it sounds like Battle of the Algiers meets The Wire, but in practice, it's myopic propaganda. The film deals secondhand with what feels like the Palestinian response to oppression, dropping names like Hamas, but the depiction of Arab nationals is essentially blackface, racist, aggressively two-dimensional caricatures. The Muslim antagonists are shown as sexist, crazed, dogmatic figures without depth. It's nothing like The Wire's holistic storytelling. I really like The Wire.
I love The Wire.
Yeah, no, it's great. The film gestures at humanizing Palestinian suffering. There's even a scene discussing how Palestinians are some of the nicest people forced to live in the worst conditions, but it doesn't have the awareness or balls to actually engage with these issues. It feels like propaganda laying groundwork for the Iraq War and Bush-era fascism. Denzel's big moral speech draws the line at torture, saying, if you torture one person, they've won. But his entire viewpoint treats they as people resisting American influence without examining why. It's interesting as a pre-9/11 artifact attempting to address these issues, but it ultimately falls into propaganda territory with the depth of a Captain America movie. The ending crystallizes this.
I like Captain America, just so we
I
get
know, why
that
am I shit talking it here?
Pro-America.
Yeah. The ending crystallizes this. The final militant becomes a sexist, crazed caricature, while Bruce Willis's fascist military character has the moral clout to stand down. The implicit message is white supremacist. The white guy can see reason, but the Arab guy can't. It has Birth of a Nation vibes. The film's morality rings hollow, like watching Democratic Party press briefings during the Palestinian genocide. We gotta stop the baddies who just hate freedom, and it's tragic, but we gotta protect our way of life. It feels like a film Netanyahu would watch with popcorn, enabling atrocity. It makes me question Zwick's filmography. The Last Samurai has been accused of white saviorism, Blood Diamonds politics, all from a Eurocentric viewpoint, despite awareness of world cultures. It's a well-made, well-acted film, but I can't recommend it. Its viewpoints felt hypocritical, backhanded, and it felt like it pushed American exceptionalism.
Damn.
I'm really aggressive right after I see it.
No,
movie,
that's
apparently.
great. Wait, what blackface? What is the blackface in the film?
The blackface thing is just, it felt like, especially with the scene at the end where the guy had so much, he felt like he had so much nuance earlier in the film, but then at the end he was like, it felt like it was saying that Muslims are sexist. It was like, you know, because
Those films are more sexist than
Well, yeah,
Western
but with his
culture.
character,
Not all,
I mean,
like,
it's some, yeah, and you could make the argument though, and that is the portrayal of negative behaviors within a culture which do exist, is that portrayal inherently racist, right?
Oh wait, just because he says like, "Oh, I would never listen to a woman."
Yeah. His final
of,
moments. Yeah, it was that combined with like Bruce Willis being like, "Oh yeah, we should stand down." That was my immediate response after watching the movie.
I can appreciate how the emotion of those things, from a 27-year-old movie, like, hey, that was awfully convenient to wrap this up within 2 hours so you can sell some more popcorn for the next screening. And when you say blackface, you don't mean literal blackface. You mean
but
like
the spirit of it,
dressing something up,
using a character's ethnicity as a plot point instead of giving like nuance to the portrayal of the character. That's what I was. That was my feeling after.
Sadir is two-dimensional because he's thought to be a bad guy, then he seems like a good guy because he's doinking the CIA lady, and then
that turn there that put me off.
Wait, did you ever think he was a good guy? I never thought he was.
I thought he was. Yeah, when I saw the movie the first time, I didn't like his heel turn at the end because it seemed kind of.
Well, he's like the vehicle for the empathy for that entire viewpoint of like, okay, why?
He's not the only vehicle.
But he's in terms of people that are on the side of the cells, So.
Sure. Versus the guys who only eat pizza and shoot into the air while they come in.
The pizza. I mean, the other guy is kind of the monk character who it's like he's suffering at the hands of this fascist machine, and he's working for the machine, and it's eating him up. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and he literally says the N-word. I won't be your.
He does say that.
Yes. I would feel weird as a white guy directing that, which Edward Zwick is.
Did he write the script? I don't know.
No, he did not write the script. This is a script that was probably being kicked around for a while, and then,
I feel very preachy after reading that, though, and I don't know. I feel like I'm wagging the finger a lot in that review.
Well, we understand what side of the Free Palestine argument you're on, and I guess I'll make the just to be clear. Anti-interventionalist, Netanyahu is a war criminal. Here's the argument I'll make for Western individualism. Western individualism is most embodied theoretically in the United States, and that we would that we have an ideal to live up to in terms of, habeas corpus, for example, and how that's violated, and that we're talking about that more now is good. And does this movie handle it well? No. but is Zero Dark 30 worse than this movie? Yes.
Yeah.
I own both movies, and I like watching them as artifacts of time, because Zero Dark 30 implies that the advanced interrogation techniques led to the capture and this.
Yeah, but I never noticed anything that they did was for sure. The siege doesn't show the torture, but Zero Dark 30 doesn't show the torture either, so what's the difference?
They imply that it's being used. The difference is that in the siege, it's like, this is the end of the second act where, it's bad now because we're breaking the Constitution. Which, that probably wasn't the first time.
It's always been bad. It's always been bad. You shouldn't torture somebody for answers, so why is it worse than Zero Dark 30?
Because in one movie they're saying this is bad. In the other movie it implies, but maybe, if it's to get Osama, it's just the one time to get Osama, but then we do it
Are they implying that in both movies though? If he could give us the answer, we're gonna do it.
One could argue that the people in the stadium is a commentary on Guantanamo. And Guantanamo is not negatively viewed in the movie Zero Dark 30.
No.
Yeah.
Which, it's still an entertaining movie, and it's fun to watch as, American, that's propaganda to me. The Siege, because of it being a big Hollywood movie, has too many masters to be all one thing for me, so it
does kind of spread itself. That's true. What are your thoughts, Nick?
What was the original question?
Yeah.
Well, just what are any of your thoughts on this movie? Like, you hadn't heard of it or seen it, and
No.
you were at the party.
I'd heard of it.
Okay.
I told you I remembered it coming out.
That's
when
true.
I was like 14.
What do you remember of the party when I brought this up? Because
I
I've been
don't
watching
Hey,
it that day.
let's give context. What party are we talking about?
We were at a party at someone's house. Do you know that?
Yeah, it was like a masked ball thing. They had weird chants playing in the background. There were a lot
I was
of
wearing a
billionaires
Chewbacca
there.
costume.
Yeah, you had the
you were
Chewbacca.
dressed as Free Hugs guy.
Yeah.
Nick was dressed as himself.
And someone gave me a shroom, not shrooms, just a shroom.
Okay.
I know nothing of this.
That Kirk lost, but I wasn't going to take it anyway.
That's
So
They
it's
gave
fine.
me the shrooms. My brother, he lost the shrooms.
Yeah,
I don't
that
like him.
that
It was
party.
perfect.
So what we're talking about is these movies as propaganda. So like he's saying that Zero Dark 30, you're saying it didn't feel quite like as propaganda.
Yeah, because I didn't notice
and
that.
he's saying Zero Dark
Let's watch
30
that again
is more
soon, 'cause
propaganda.
I
and he doesn't
enjoyed
think the
the
siege
bonus,
really
maybe?
because
Maybe,
it's
yeah.
trying to give so many different aspects, an opinion.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I don't remember much. I don't know if I ever saw Zero Dark 30 to compare it.
Oh, it's
John Krasinski.
But so if the question is did I feel like this was not preachy, propaganda? It didn't feel like it to me. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like because I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it could have been like you can look at it now and like it may not be the most sensitive handling
Right.
of the subject matter, but I think there's plenty of in between that and propaganda. I didn't feel like I was being, it didn't feel like propaganda. Like if it was going to be propaganda, it would be like anti-terror.
Yeah, it's not
propaganda,
it's not
right?
like super overt.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
not explicit as super explicit.
it's hard to say. Like I feel like there are plenty of other things out there that would definitely feel like more like propaganda than this. But
Yeah, I mean, True Lies is way worse than this.
see, I've never
movie.
seen
Yeah,
True
for sure.
Lies.
True
But
Lies.
it's also kind of like a farce. But I don't know if that makes it better.
True Lies is an action movie, whereas this is
It's
a
an
political thriller. That's the
it's
real
that's
difference.
Yeah.
What is True Lies? What's the thing about? Because it's come up a couple of times. now.
Because
What's
there's
True Lies?
aren't they like
It's just-
Hispanic people playing?
I don't. Yeah, it's like the wrong ethnicity,
Arab.
and there's just really. It's just like a Looney Tunes cartoon
At the end of the
at the
movie,
expense of Arab people.
Schwarzenegger's in like a
Fighter jet.
fighter jet, and there's like I'm going to use the word terrorist, hanging off of a missile that he ends up
Yeah.
shooting.
It's a great shot, but-
Yeah, it looks awesome.
And they got his daughter, and
You got my daughter.
you get my daughter.
And now I need to waterboard you to find my daughter after I watch Jamie Lee Fox. I mean Jamie Lee Curtis. I will not watch Jamie Lee Fox undress for me.
Jamie
It's
Lee
really
Fox
funny
will
if you see the movie.
strip for me.
And the propaganda is
Well, everything's propaganda.
But the difference
Full
between
stop.
True Lies and The Siege is True Lies, technically the whole plot is him trying to figure out if his wife is cheating on him.
Which is a metaphor for American intervention.
Is it?
No,
I don't know.
Well, like if we can make you fear something at home, then we can get you to spend more on defense. That's the overarching narrative. But,
No,
I want to hit again. I think
the
everything
main
is
plot of
propaganda.
True Lies is just him, Arnold, trying to see if Jamie Lee Curtis
Yeah, that is the
trying
main.
to cheat
That
on
is
him.
the main thing.
And then
That
they
is the
take
arc
a
of this
turn,
movie.
yeah.
Basically, it's just so that they have the same thing where it's using Muslims as caricatures for your villain role, and it's just dismissive of any. It's not telling their stories; they're just the aggressors.
Okay.
That's kind
Not
of
a justification, but a point of like just historical context. The World Trade Center had been bombed in, was it 91, 92? And it was by, people who were extremists in that direction.
the garage thing or whatever.
Yeah, the thing in the garage, and then there was, because I remember this as like a 4 or 5 year old kid, like seeing this on the news and people being like, oh no, and then like immediately the news media, if it bleeds, it leads, and then the, war propaganda department is, yeah, money, 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 but.
Somebody benefits.
So like, could that have influenced True Lies, for instance?
Oh, probably, yeah.
I'm not saying that that's okay, I'm
No,
just pointing
no.
out that, maybe that's.
Right. These all exist as artifacts of
I thought of the thing that is totally gross propaganda? Because like we all, I think everything's propaganda. The question is it bad? Propaganda?
Yeah, that is the question. Is it
When he
at the
goes in-
detriment of the quality of the film?
When he Jack Bowers into the school
Right.
and then shoots the guy,
okay.
that's bad.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
It looks sweet though. And it was cool.
Yeah, there's like 3 different scenes where they gotta go in and then they blow
How do you
him away.
define propaganda, though?
Yeah, how do you, yeah, that is a good question.
Is it because I don't think it's just like, oh, there's definitely an opinion being expressed. I don't think that's propaganda. That's an opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, all movies are propaganda to me because everyone has an intent.
Yeah.
Whether that intent is good for society or bad for society is the thing we can discuss. Sorry.
No, yeah.
I don't think an intent is just that's the thing. I don't think an intent is propaganda.
Well, like
Or
also
opinion
movies
is
are made by
propaganda.
multiple people, so it would be hard to say it's all one thing necessarily. But that's why it's fun to go back like almost
but
30
how
years
did
and look
you
at.
find this propaganda? Like, is it too much American? Is it too much Muslim?
Well, it's conflicted propaganda because
It
it's saying
is conflicted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
America is an ideal. Like, we need to keep America safe, but also we can't violate America to keep her safe.
Yeah, but isn't America always a melting pot? Isn't that the idea of America?
Multiracial working class, and yeah, 100%.
Well, that's like part of the
Yeah.
reason I didn't think this didn't feel like propaganda because it was not focused. Because it was like there were sometimes Denzel is like follow due process, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then you also have the other characters who are like the opposite of that, but neither one. I mean, like obviously Denzel, like you're supposed to root for him, and therefore you're probably supposed to root for his worldview. But
Yeah, he's like the good sheriff,
Yeah.
uphold the law.
but nothing was like enough to feel like that was like the overall like theme or the message would make it propaganda for me. But I'm defining propaganda maybe differently. I'm thinking propaganda is like
More explicit.
Like
it's
American
more
Sniper being
it's a very that's
propaganda.
borderline propaganda, and it's like there's a very specific message where you don't have like conflicting messages, like a very specific message.
concise propaganda.
Where like I think when you have conflicting viewpoints and worldviews in a movie, and you can like maybe see the pros and cons of both, propaganda doesn't. I don't think. Again, like I don't know if I'm.
Here's an example of why seeing both sides maybe wouldn't be like some people don't like Gone with the Wind proliferating because it both sides the Civil War to some degree because you're watching
Oh sure.
and like no, but there's not a both sides to that. But at the same time, the counter to that is they're humans. They have stories. They have lives.
I do think that Gone with the Wind works as a film, even if you look at it through a 2025, 26 lens, because you can watch that movie and realize that these people are all horrible, and even the moral center of the movie, like the best, white Southern person, they're still a terrible person, and it still works as a film because it you're watching these horrible people suffering because they're horrible.
Zone of interest, same thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I think it's like a movie, if it's well made and well written, then it can work. But then if it's got these blind spots though, where it's taking you out of the movie and you as the audience are like, well, they're not telling that story and they need to tell that perspective to make it a better movie. It's like the difference between explicit propaganda and implicit. Like I would call Zero Dark 30 implicit.
Explicit. Oh, implicit?
I'd say it's explicit on the outer level, but then it's implicit in the way that it's what it's not saying. What the story it's ignoring.
Yeah, we didn't actually use advanced interrogation techniques to lead us to getting Osama, according to who the fuck knows, And the problem is that we're supposed to know. That goes back to America is an idea, it's an ideal, and therefore if we don't live up to it, that matters.
Yeah, I don't think America has lived up to the idea of America, this melting pot, as much recently. No.
Well, melting pot could go both ways because some people like to argue that melting pot refers to a degree of assimilation, but all immigrant groups assimilate, and also you could argue that just to take, I can speak about Italians. I have Italian people in my family.
Yeah.
When they came over, then and this has happened with lots of immigrant groups prior to and after the Italians. There's some level of corruption within that group, and then it gets settled and becomes, you don't have Italian folks connected to organized crime as much anymore. And like in the 90s, for example, when The Sopranos came out, there were Italian American groups that were like, this is bad, this is hurting us. And in The Siege, before it came out, CAIR, C-A-I-R, I think that's the organization. I don't know what the acronym stands for. The A stands for Arab. They argued for that scene in the Broadway theater when they have there's a representative for the Muslim community. I can't remember what the guy says he is. And like that was added so they could say, hey, this...
Muslims, we're not supporting this. We're against it. It's an affront to our,
But I remember countries did that after 9/11, and I took them seriously. And
I mean, it kind of makes me think about Munich a little bit because it's a similar kind of thing, and they do, again, they try to give voice to the Palestinian cause, but it still kind of feels dismissive, and they're ignoring like the fundamental thing of...
Hasn't Spielberg gone on like IDF tours?
I don't know. I would assume so. I would assume so.
Like Jerry Seinfeld.
I mean, I think with Defiance, Zwick was kind of...
Not that there's anything wrong with going on an IDF tour.
But yeah, it's like the fundamental thing of like colonial expansion, taking away people's homes and all that stuff, and not really dealing with the issue that you're dealing with. And you can, even if this movie tried to give more nuance, if they didn't actually address the situation of like what would make somebody push somebody to an extremist viewpoint, I don't know. And it sucks because I feel like it's interesting, I think it's interesting it's...
This older movie I find to be the basis for more conversation than I do, than most of the conversation I can recall having off of Zero Dark 30 wouldn't be as positive.
Yeah, that's because it gestures at all this stuff, and it does kind of create a more interesting conversation. And even those movies, they feel like, oh, they're more aware, and maybe they're trying to be more progressive, but they try to tie it in like a neat bow. And there's something messy about this one that I like.
Is his name Sadir?
Sadir, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I was looking it up. I'm
cool.
pretty sure
One of the things
Sadir.
that I would argue against, he's an individual. Like that's a Western idea versus an Eastern idea.
Right.
Individualism versus collectivism, but he's not a good representative of Islam to me because you see him drinking.
Yeah, no.
So,
because Muslims don't drink, right? Or something like that. Yeah.
I find that consistent among, yes.
I think it would have fixed the movie though if in his final moments, instead of kind of having this sexist attitude towards, is it Annette Bening or whatever?
Annette Bening.
Yeah.
If he had, his big antagonist aria and everything he said was exactly right, like he was calling out America for their interventionism and he was saying how you're all hypocrites, and if he had a speech where, they gave the viewpoint of why he's, of his victimhood and all that stuff, and then if they fixed his speech at the end as like a screenwriter, I'd be like, oh, give him a completely valid viewpoint, and then he sacrifices himself because he's right. And I don't know, I think that would have actually fixed the movie for me.
Here's an idea. Go, take all of the Islam out of the movie.
Right, yeah.
Replace it with Latin folks and go, you fuckers fucked up our countries.
Or Irish 70s. People, right?
Well, no, we didn't.
Okay,
that's because of England, but we fucked up Latin America for the past many decades now,
No,
all right. So if you replace the Sadir with someone named Aladdin Sanchez, someone who's like, hey, my family was fucked over by the CIA in the 70s, so now I'm here to get you fuckers back. That would be the same thing.
I think you'd cheer for them more, maybe.
Damn.
Well, I'm just saying, you can find parallel cause, because our criticism is, I live in the United States of America. I have habeas corpus unless I get accused of being a terrorist. Again, not a terrorist, pro-America. But I'm allowed to talk about this because I have the First Amendment here. I can put a camera on, point it at myself, have sex, and then it's not prostitution. Then it's pornography and totally allowed. Not in Texas. But I can say whatever I want, and I'm protected, which is a unique to America thing. So I do believe in exceptionalism for that ideal.
Yeah, no, the dream of America. What about you two, though? I feel like you have.
I mean, the dream of America, it's kind of turning into a nightmare.
Yeah, nightmare.
These days, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, we're given this idea of America as an immigrant, you work hard and you're gonna get this award at the end, you're gonna find this wealth. Eventually, you have kids and you're gonna work hard. But I don't find it that much rewarding or unit.
It's the carrot in front of the donkey.
Yeah.
You guys are the
Like-
donkeys?
Yeah,
We're all
no,
donkeys.
we're all
the
the
American
donkeys.
dream is the carrot. Like, we're working towards it, but given how the world is at the moment, America is at the moment, I don't know what we're
Well,
gonna
and who
get to it.
enjoys the lion's share of the
Yeah.
benefit of all the labor that you're told to do?
Well,
Yeah.
just a second. To be collectivist for a moment for our country versus all the other countries, we have 5% of the people. We take up 25% of the resources from most. So like,
yeah, but
so we are getting something. But I do agree that the wealth isn't constant. Like it's the Pareto principle of everything.
So are you saying, Kirk, that the American dream kind of functions as basic propaganda, you know? That
it is propaganda in a way for my generation at least. Like, you're made to believe that if you work hard and you go to college and you get a job and you work hard and you're supposed to get these, you're able to afford a house,
The house.
you're able to afford, I don't know, having kids.
Get that
But
kids.
right now we're not looking at that. So what is the American dream then? Like, are we defining it for ourselves? Are we defining it from, I don't know, to offend people like boomers? Are we defining what boomers
Well,
define the American dream? Or,
Speaking specifically to my parents,
yeah,
and
your
those
parents.
boomers, those bastards got to have college cheaper. They had, they
Yeah.
didn't have the same debt ratio that we're dealing with today. Like more of your taxes are going to go toward the debt going forward than anything else, even the boom stuff overseas. So I don't know.
Well, to hear Nick's side, what do you think about that?
What
What
were we
are
American-
your thoughts on the
Would
American
the siege make me think of the
American dream,
American
yeah.
dream and
Yeah.
where you at with it? Because Kirk's not doing well right
How
now.
are you in the American dream? How's your relationship going with the good old American
Who's
dream?
making love to your old lady?
I've.
It's a song title.
Oh, I didn't know. I think it is. I think it is the carrot that gets everyone to work because, I mean, you said a number of something about 25%. I don't know if it's relevant that we consume 25% of resources or something.
Yeah,
or,
you have air conditioning. They don't have that in Europe.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about. I'm not comparing us to Europe. I'm comparing us to, like, the top class in the same country. I'm not
100%
comparing.
agree.
And like that's and like even you can still get something in return and still be getting screwed by the value of
Two things
labor.
can be true, yes.
Value of labor gets labor gets devalued, and then ideas from any guy who get someone like any person can get fucking high as balls on ketamine and like talk about colonizing Jupiter. Like,
well,
but
did
that's
your
not.
dad have a diamond mine to get you started in this country?
Yeah,
On
so that's the
Jupiter?
whole basis for being against billionaires is like, at least in my opinion, is like
Okay, go ahead.
what? It's like no one person can be worth can really produce that much value on their own, and so the only way for them to get to amass that wealth is that you have to be devaluing. You have to be at least one thing devaluing the labor that makes things real. You have to devalue that. And then also there's the whole thing of like, well, you're going to sell a fucking tin can truck for $100,000 too, like, price gouging stuff. But normally it's devaluing labor, I think.
The shitification is the word I've heard lately. I just want to, like, for me, it's if you regulate capitalism properly, then it doesn't matter exactly what the numbers are over time. Like $1 million to a boomer 50 years ago seemed like what? Can you imagine any millionaires? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But do you believe
But,
people are, doing it properly? I don't
No,
think
not
they're
at all. I
regulating
think
it. No,
I
of
think we're
course
building
not.
too much debt and we're spending too much overseas. It's very simple. And
That's not
that's
gonna
bringing
happen.
problems home to us.
Yeah, we're gonna pay for it.
Well, and just like if you look at the wealth gap, I mean, like it should be obvious why people like struggle to afford basic things now. It's like it's not rocket science, and so that's what I'm saying about the carrot in front of the donkey. It's like you work because there's always going to be somebody like above you who's like maybe they're paying you and maybe you're even happy with what you're being paid, but if you really think about it, like your labor is worth more than what usually gets paid for it, because and it's easy to say, oh, that labor doesn't matter, but when you take it out of the equation, like what did all like the restaurant owners do in COVID? Like they didn't go, well, you know, when no one wanted to work for 7:45 anymore. But they also
Wait, are
like,
you attacking the restaurant owners or the? I'm good, because they couldn't get tips.
No, restaurant owners. Like people weren't working for them anymore.
A lot of them went out of business because of unrealistic. Like I would argue,
these places
the system
didn't
of government that shut down their businesses.
No.
What's your argument against the owners?
Because they were still open in order to be complaining about people not working for them. Like they wouldn't be complaining if they were shut down. So that was the whole thing. No one wants to work. Well, yeah, no one wants to work for $7.50.
Yeah, right.
But they also had regulations that made it impossible. Like, for example, I'll just use the California example where the guy has a restaurant and next door they're shooting a movie, and because that was deemed an essential industry.
We're pivoting because I never even finished my first thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize. Please continue.
Like, it's the labor that gets devalued. Like, just fast food worker. But when they don't show up, like, you don't make any money at all because these guys... And they were still open because they didn't get shut down by like these are like fast food places too. Like those stayed open. I know restaurants closed, but like if they were closed already, they wouldn't have been complaining about people not working for them. They'd rather like type up and print out and tape up this sign that says no one wants to work than go and like do the work themselves. That's supposed to be so. Oh, it's low skill. It's no skill. They're just making burgers, but like it's hard enough where the business owners won't go and do it themselves and still keep some money going in. So that's what I'm talking. That's an example of what I'm talking about. Like the labor gets devalued, and ideas which are important, but like don't become real without labor. The ideas just get so like. You know, if I'm the right person with the right background and I talk about like colonizing fucking Jupiter, that makes me a genius and my idea is worth more than any labor. That's, you know. Can
we focus on, so you're making a point about labor being devalued. Is that correct?
That is the point. Labor gets devalued.
How I want to counter, and I don't think we'll be able to get this back to the siege, but it doesn't matter. How I want to counter that, though, is that you're focused on, I would argue, too narrow of a band of labor, and then focusing on, like, the people who posted signs that had social virality. I think those are ill-advised decisions from people who, you know, are getting too much attention for what is a very small, localized issue. Also, eating out is, like, one of these things that's like it's harder to gauge as a part of the whole economy, whereas like building permits and people swinging hammers, arguably construction is not a low skilled work, but you can start at various levels of construction and work your way up. And you know, I don't think that labor is being devalued. I do think labor in like restaurants, all types of restaurants is getting devalued just because of how the world is changing and how the economy is changing.
Yeah, but that's Nick's whole point. Like, why aren't we paying these people minimum wage or above minimum wage? We're expecting these people to work below it and just deal with it. Hey, you're not going to do anything different. We're paying you below minimum wage. You're going to stick around. Because
we're expecting people to work below minimum wage. I'm confused.
We are.
How so?
I mean, come on. McDonald's.
You mean not livable? You mean not livable?
Yeah, not livable.
Oh, yeah.
We are expecting people to work for these hours for other people in the COVID or whatever. We are expecting these people to do these things at minimum, just so that we have this, privilege.
Yeah. There's like a shadow side to this thing that seems nice. You're pitching this beautiful ideal, but what is the shadow cast by that?
So that we can agree on a couple things. Yes, I agree that actually I've heard a conflicting statistic that the homeownership among millennials is higher than boomers at the same point in their life. Taking that statistic out of it, we agree there's an affordability problem. We agree there is a labor problem. But a counter idea I want to present is that you are not owed a house. Not not you specifically, but like we didn't all grow
Sure.
like it has to be earned. And to relate it to the siege, we do actually get some backstory on Mr. Denzel Washington's character because Annette Bening brings up, oh yeah, you were the captain of this, you were the president of this, and it implies like meritocracy.
The same argument is made. There's no ownership of a property here. There isn't.
I agree. There is a squeeze on ownership. It was
Yeah.
life, liberty, and the right to property and then they changed it to happiness. And like property owners used to be the only ones who could vote when the country started out, and then eventually, women, Good.
Yeah.
I'm a progressive in that way.
Great. Yeah.
But the part of the meritorious thing would be more and more work that is needed theoretically will be rewarded. That's like, I just want to make sure that idea is represented. But I agree, macroeconomically, we've got
At what
problems.
level do we have to work hard enough to own a house?
That's the thing. That no one's
Yeah.
asking for no one says they're owed a house. No one wants a house for free. It's gotten more and more difficult. More and more, it's like the most difficult it's ever been. And meanwhile, all those years, all these decades, we've been told, things cost a lot because they have to have money to innovate, and that innovate's going to make things better.
Yeah.
It never makes anything better for us.
Kicking the can down the road.
We get these little carrots all that in other forms. Like we get some technology. Oh, we have 4K TV. Oh, we have 8K TVs. Okay, great. We have OLED TVs now instead of LCD. Great. Like so, we get these little scraps, but the lion's share of all of the innovation, like they're doing dynamic pricing in stores now. Like that's an innovation.
That's because of Instacart. I agree that it's.
Yeah, there's like a hollowing out.
It's because of an innovation that is they're taking it. The capitalists are taking advantage.
Yes, that's an innovation, but who does it help? Not us.
People who want to trade convenience for what is probably more marginally utilitous. Can we talk about the innovation thing you're talking about?
Yeah, well, yeah, because we never really get. That's what I'm saying. We don't get the lion's share of the benefit, and a lot of the innovation. A lot of the innovation is like for them to just gouge more money off of us, so that when one person walks up to the food item, it's $2, and then when someone else walks up, it's $5. That's what dynamic pricing is. Like they're putting electronic price tags on things so they can change them.
That's happening. Like the most common example of what you're talking about is Instacart, according to.
Yeah, but no, they're doing it in real, and they're starting to roll it out in like real stores.
Yeah, where they're changing the price of the taco if you drive up at 3:00 versus if you drive up at 5:00, right?
Not so much, not just based on time, but like based on who it is, which involves a whole nother level of like tracking and stalking people. But they're using AI for that too. So
that's a kind of heady idea. I guess I want to go more to the heady.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, if you're quantifying it to a specific person, you gotta qualify that, right? I mean,
Well, I'd like to qualify just the kind of band of what we're talking about here.
I mean, it does
Yeah.
relate to the movie though, because it is
Yeah.
like it's categorizing people based on their value.
yeah. So, at what quantifiable value do you not give this, like Nick giving his orders on time, or like?
Well, okay, so just to give a clear, concrete example of how Nick and I in our lives, we both work white-collar jobs differently, but both, like, we can work from home. Like, and then you work from home now, too. So it's like,
I
that's
do,
an
but
innovation
look,
that has made all of
but
our lives way
we're-
easier than...
But the issue is we're talking about Instacart. We're talking about these things that are quantifiable. Like, yeah, quantifiable. Like, if a white person orders,
right.
are they gonna get that first, or are they not gonna get that first?
I don't know that there is any evidence of racial profiling in terms of pricing yet, dynamic pricing, but I'm sure there will be a case study at some point.
I would like to see a version of the siege where it's based on economic value.
Yeah, right.
Like instead of,
I mean, that's kind of my critique of it, is that you don't have the corporate influence on this movie.
I feel like The Insider, that movie is sort of an example of like something that does a lot of nuance. It's not the same thing, but it has.
Yeah, that's very loud, but you're good.
It's an example of like a better script that shows all these different angles and stuff, and it's efficient too. It's got really good pacing.
Inside the 2.5 hour Insider.
Yeah, the Al Pacino one.
I own that movie. I
It's good.
overpaid for it on Blu-ray because they knew they could get me. Yeah,
but wouldn't you love to see like the Siege, but
mixed with
the Inside? I think that would be
100%.
I would like to see.
No, actually, I'd like to do Siege plus Wag the Dog, but
Yeah. That would be funny.
That's a more political thing than an economic thing.
They have to have a whole lockdown on New York because the president has a sex scandal or something. That would be funny.
With
I
the
mean,
Girl
wait a
Scout.
minute. Has that not happened to some extent?
Like, are we at war?
could.
Are we
Yeah.
going to war with Venezuela because the president?
You don't even need this.
pedophile
Yeah,
or
you don't need
president?
any of this stuff anymore because it's all just the news.
That's just the news.
Yeah.
But that's why watching movies from the 90s is somewhat clarifying when you're, hey, wait, history doesn't repeat, it rhymes.
Is it clarifying or is it making life more depressing? I think it's
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Well, I already said that I think I'm screwed up because 2020 happened and then 2025 happened.
Yeah.
And like me in, I think, high school who experienced 9/11 in middle school was like, I want to watch movies really that, people I've read on the internet, The Siege has a negative, like, its refractory period after, 9/11 happened has.
Well, is that hint to ask where everybody else was at 9/11? Where were you at during 9/11?
I was in school, I can prove it.
Like, totally not coincidentally, I
Yeah.
was in the beginning of my American government class.
Yeah, well,
I say, I say that as a joke.
Matthew,
As
where were you?
We're doing a Where Were You on
Me and my
9/11?
dad and my
I
brother, we
mean-
had gone to an auction like a few days prior, maybe 2 days before.
What kind of
like
auction?
It was just like an auction that had a bunch of different stuff, and there was an X-wing, a big X-wing toy that I had gotten. For some reason, they saw that I wanted it, and they let me have it. Like somebody that was bidding, they'd let us have a low bid. So I was in our basement playing with this X-wing that was super cool. And then my older brother Christopher came running down the stairs, and he was really excited. He was like, "They bombed New York. They blew up something.
Damn,
No, the
right?
Pentagon. They blew up the Pentagon." And he was just like, he was like smiling.
Wait, you heard about
it.
the Pentagon before the Twin Towers?
Something. I've been doing my own thing,
Yeah.
I feel like it was the Pentagon, and then I came
You're
upstairs.
gonna go blow up the Death Star. Guess what?
Yeah, I was like playing with an X-wing. That was my memory.
Can I just hit you on the innovation regulation?
I wanted
thing?
to come back to regulation. I wasn't. You can talk about. I wasn't talking about regulation. I was.
Yeah, what are we
Like,
talking about here?
it's a balance. Is like you want innovation, but you do have to regulate from going too far. Like.
That's part of it. Yeah.
And the big question right now is, will Big Daddy AI come? And if it comes for us in the United States before it comes for China, like if China gets to it before we do they then like oppress us with the, super AGI that they're able to get to because they're not restricted by their government because their government's more tied into their businesses, although ours is pretty tied in as well. And allowing them to just, whereas we're like, no, we can't let even though we have like a polycule of rat's nest for what's going on with the investing. Take all the AI stuff out of it. I'm just saying, like, the two ends of the spectrum of you deregulate so you can allow you can allow business to flourish, which theoretically would allow innovation, or you regulate to keep from people being hurt and taken advantage of.
Here, what you're telling me right now is that here's the reason for deregulation, and we get told this, and that's like also we get told that innovation is the reason why things. God, where
So you're
was I?
talking about deregulation.
Deregulation for innovation.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't going for regulation so much, or one way or the other, but like
But that's the only
innovation.
remedy to what you're talking about is that you need some other entity to come in and say.
Well, I never
hey,
got
you
to the
can't-
end of my thought.
Okay, please.
My thought for I brought up innovation because it's part of the carrot that they dangle in front of
Right,
us.
yeah.
And like as far
it's
as
always the newer, better.
here's why we need.
This is why. Yeah.
It's why we
gotta
need less regulations, and it's why things have to be expensive so you can fund more innovation. Both of those things, and like what I'm saying is part of the American dream, like things being dangled in front of us that we are supposed to buy into, because it's a form of control. Like we're going
Right.
to make
Form
us.
of control.
You get a job, you go get, but like I'm saying, most of most of the value of people's labor goes to the top, right? No matter, like, yeah, we get some of it. So it's not like, and I'm not against innovation. Yes, I enjoy the benefits of innovation, but like that doesn't change the fact that most of the value of the labor that gets done, and that's not just, I mean, like, I just wasn't just talking about like fast food or just during COVID, but like in general.
Yeah, as a trend.
Yeah, because like just the basic idea that the idea part, like ideas are important, but like a person who opens like the 2 millionth fucking McDonald's on the planet, like that wasn't like some bright idea. That's just, you have $2 million to open a McDonald's. Like ideas aren't, and if you don't have anyone to work, it doesn't matter how brilliant of an idea.
100% labor is a component.
Yeah.
They're trying to automate it away, though, especially in that industry. And we're trying to automate lots of types of, that type of labor away.
Sure,
and that might
that's
not be a bad thing.
It's further devaluing.
We have a proliferation of certain types of things because...
And who does it benefit more if they do succeed in doing that? It doesn't benefit
us.
us.
And it always goes to the owners first. The people, the capital that comes in first, the ownership that comes in first. But that's theoretically that's supposed to be good for you. And the thing that you could do is you have an LLC that you make money on. I mean, it's not your primary form of income versus your W-2 job, but the idea is that your LLC, if meritorious, like if the meritocracy were real, and you're
Are you saying it's not real?
No.
Like, where are we going with it? We always get so far off the top, like the initial talking.
I think that's a great point to end this segment.
Wait, wait, what don't you understand? I don't appreciate my point being shut down on that.
No, it's where are you going with it? Like, what point are you trying to...
Well, to me, it sort of feels like we're talking about values and ideals and ideas, almost like this shining beacon that we're all staring into, and we're mesmerized by it because there's truth in them and there's power in them, and it's attractive. But then, while we're all doing that, it's like somebody's mining our organs and collectively just stripping us down so that we're just barely even alive or something. I mean, that's kind of what it's making me think about.
Yeah, while giving us just enough to go along with it.
You got your lungs and your heart, but we can take your kidneys.
The carrot.
And then they will continually point out, hey, you got your lung and your kidneys. Well, but don't ignore the stuff that I took, the rest of the stuff that you don't have.
I mean, I think part of it though is that we're looking at the ideals and we're accepting the collateral damage, right? We're saying that collateral damage, we're morally justifying it, but it's like they're putting us all in the cages, like in the movie. I don't know.
In a form, yeah.
In a form, yeah. That's what that
Most businesses are going to fail. The guy who tries to buy the 9th McDonald's in an area, like the odds of that succeeding, the margins are very low.
You always pivot. You take points
and
like
you were talking about.
But but you go on like a different tangent that's not like totally.
We're talking about ideals and that sort of thing, but then there's practicum. There's how the rubber hits the road.
I use McDonald's as an example. I don't care. Like, if it really is the 10th McDonald's within a mile, of course it's going to fail. But that's irrelevant to my point.
No, it's not because you're saying
you interrupted me. The point was that an idea, like, isn't necessarily like if you can have the idea and the money to open a McDonald's.
You're missing one point, but continue, please.
But who makes the burgers?
Execution. That's what you're talking about. There's someone at the top of the execution, and then there is an org chart of execution below that. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to keep erasing the bottom layer as much as they can because they add the least value because they don't have the capital. I'm sorry. That's how it works in, not a capitalist system, is that you don't have that. But you have capital. You have a home. You have a business. You have a W-2 job.
We're already going off the rails here. I'm not talking about that.
At the bottom, there are workers.
You can build value, is the point. Anyone can build value.
No. That's,
You don't think so?
Some people have advantages.
That's
always.
And we're immediately, every time you start talking, we get immediately away from the point.
I appreciate the ad hominem.
The what?
Continue.
I'm
using the word correctly.
That's a good word. At home.
The point is that is like here's the value. The value, the labor matters, and you immediately jump to but they're going to replace the labor. I'm not talking about what might happen or might not happen.
Right, hypothetically.
I'm talking about the labor. Even if they replace people with robots, that's still the labor that needs to happen. that's separate from the idea. So you're not disputing my point. You're just going off on a different.
I'm adding a nuance. You're looking at labor in a binary. I'm looking at labor as a set of tranches, really.
Wait, are you looking at it binary? No, I don't think you were.
Is that overall labor is being devalued? Yes, that's true if you look at all labor. We do humans do less than they did 100 years ago because of technology.
But that's with technology.
Humans like us.
Of course we're going to do less with technology. Of course we're going to do that, but I don't understand where this argument is coming from. Well,
because there are people in the world who are living in the 8th century, and there are people who are living in the 21st, and that connotes some sort of value on how they interact with the world. It does not. It does not say that their individual humanity is any less so, but it ends up having that effect in reality.
Yeah, but are we as the head of this organization denoting them to, hey, look, you're gonna work this level, or is that society like, hey, you're entering this at this level, so you should be at this level? I mean, if they're working harder than they should, we should move them above that, shouldn't we?
In representative democracy, we'd be able to move these things out. We can't because we have a Citizens United, so money is speech, and now it's only going to get more like what Nick's saying, and he's right.
Wait, what are you saying, though? Specifically, what are you saying?
Labor is going to get devalued, and capital is going to win.
Yeah, labor, it's already devalued. And now AI, like robotics, AI, that's just a way to further devalue it. But that doesn't mean the labor is not important. I'm saying the labor is important because nothing happens without labor. Whether it's a human being doing it or a robot, someone has to make the fucking burgers. Yeah. So this is not an argument about, like, a burger isn't, like, you don't sell the idea of a burger. You need a fucking burger. Yeah. So, like, someone has, or something, if they get to that point where they can effectively make them, and they don't have to pay, like with Musk's robots where it's like a teleoperator doing this.
Well, eventually the energy of the world runs out. So
again, that's you're right, but that's like not what we're talking about. Like, you're right, and that's why the AI stuff in the current model, like they're like hitting a wall with it. Like you don't, there's not enough power for it.
Is there a way to go beyond that? Like, how would we get AI pushed after that? Like,
I don't know. They always said, we're going to ask the AI how to do nuclear fusion. And then I don't know why they haven't done that yet.
Okay, can I make another argument?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm pro-Venezuela war. There's more oil there than there is in Afghanistan. So, like, if we need more oil to power all these things, I mean, ultimately it always comes back to oil because nuclear fission doesn't work.
Well, they love oil, but, like, I don't know what oil.
Are we technically going against oil? Are we doing solar powered or, I don't know, AI powered?
The innovation hasn't occurred. The innovation hasn't occurred there, even with regulation to try and encourage it.
You can't make an argument. Shouldn't we wait for the innovation? Shouldn't we wait for that?
No, because you need the oil in the short term to, like, everything
then
in
why
this room.
Are we waiting for it? Shouldn't we just do that innovation?
Well, it seems like people are making money off of the thing, and that's,
So we're just making money then. We're waiting for that innovation until we could make money on this other thing. So we're just all selfish.
It's speculation.
I mean, it makes me think about water-powered cars and electric vehicles, because they had that back at the turn of the century, back in the early
cars
1900s.
can make better cars, but we're not making better cars.
He's gonna slam me on innovation. Let him.
No, that's not about. It's sometimes. I mean, it's like if you have too much power, if a certain group of people or companies, whatever, have too much power, they can, like, maybe they don't want innovation because they don't want the competition. Yeah. I mean, there's all that speculation that the thing that Mitch McConnell put in the government reopening bill that bans, like, all the THC stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It was funded by, like, the liquor lobby.
Right. Yeah.
Was it the liquor, the pharmaceuticals, the police unions?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Probably both. So, no, I'm not against innovation. I just wish, I think we're owed more of it. I think
agree.
We're owed more of the fruits of the innovation.
Yeah.
This is why it was worth continuing. He's right.
Because the labor is so valuable, and that's why they want robots to do it, because they don't want to pay for it. So, but that just goes to show. Look, we have this whole like bubble right now, $1 trillion fucking bubble that is based on how much?
It's way more than that.
Oh well, it's even worse.
It's much scarier than just $1 trillion.
How do we equate that?
So
Where do we
here's
get
how
the number?
important. Here's how important labor is. They're spending that amount of money to generate labor that they eventually don't have to pay for. That's how important labor is.
The counter argument, and just because we're talking about that, the counter argument to that is that this is potentially like inventing the atom bomb. Like if nation states that aren't us, or multinational corporations that aren't multinational corporations, get it before the ones that are against our interests get it before us. We got to do it first, and we got to drop the AI bomb on them. That's the argument. That's not just getting rid of all the labor, but I do see your point.
But that's the thing. What is the goal? What is the AI bomb? Like, what is the goal of the AI?
Yeah.
That's what, and it comes back to labor.
We don't even know what to worry about. You couldn't explain internet to your parents.
Like people at home, like, oh, I'm going to make a cat video. I'm going to make a fucking talking gorilla video. But governments aren't using it for that. Like they have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, but we can't worry about what the government is going to do in the future.
No, that's all we should worry about.
Sure, but like, are we going to quantify that, like, we're going to stop doing what we're doing because the government's going to, I don't know, bomb us?
Right, and if you have if you become apathetic, it's the same as
Shouldn't we just stop what we're doing? So what is the government going to do in the long run that we should stop?
What is the government going to do in the law?
We get people to stop buying burgers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
we should encourage people
AI.
to eat healthier, but like we should stop spending so much money overseas to, do interventions and instead focus on development here. We should get more of the innovation here, as Nick is saying.
Yeah, but given how much Nick is saying, I don't think we're gonna do that though. We're not gonna do that here. Do you think we're gonna do that here? The innovation that Nick is talking about?
I do wonder if there's some kind of implicit thing where we as individuals associate ourselves with the American government and all, and you see it as we like a sports team or something, and I don't know.
I am America.
Yeah. It's us versus them.
We killed Osama.
Yeah, we did it.
You were at home in like Ohio, but okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
I went down to the bar in my building and we celebrated.
Okay.
Like when the Vikings do well or something, I don't say, "Oh, I'm winning."
But several people do that.
Yeah, it feels like a paradigm, though, And if somebody like listened to this, and I feel like I should point that out, because then this podcast would sort of operate as like American propaganda in a sense, because we've all.
It's propaganda. This is
I mean
propaganda.
the language of it. Yeah.
Hey, we chart in Russia. It's actually on Spotify.
Yeah.
The Russian. I don't know. It makes me think about, there's a movie called Burn, which was the director of Battle of the Algiers follow-up to that movie with Marlon Brando. And that's all about like sugar cane farming and stuff in like the 1800s. And it's really about like what happens when you have your revolution and burn it down and like get rid of the slavers and stuff, like then the society that you have to build. And like, how does that get exploited again? And it's like a cyclical kind of thing that keeps happening over and over again, where it's, you've devalued the labor, but then you still need the sugar, and whatever the sugar is, it keeps changing. But it's still kind of the same thing, where you have people exploiting people, and there's ideals that are true and good, but they have a shadow. But I don't know. It's human nature. I don't know what the point I'm having here is, but
the reason to try and hit on what you're saying, the reason I'm so into dairy from the first episode is which I don't know if we'll talk about in your interview at all. Welcome to Dairy TV. Is that 1962? This is a black person who owns a theater saying, or it's around adjacent to those characters. Someone saying something to the effect of, "There is nothing wrong with this country that can't be fixed by what's right about it."
If you have like ideas, you can't have an idea that just exists as a solid fixed thing. They have to change and evolve with the times. And I feel like The Siege, it has certain ideas that do feel, true and good, but they're not looking at the actual reality of the situation. And that makes it feel what I felt like propagandistic. So yeah, I think in any viewpoint that you have to look at the actual boots on the ground. Where is the bottom line? Is the bottom line, going up? Are we all drowning when we think the bottom line is here? And yeah, I don't know. I think if nothing else, it does provoke interesting discussion. So on that grounds, I think, yeah, it's a good time.
I feel like maybe they tried to be sensitive but didn't do their homework. Maybe
I think
I
so.
felt like they
yeah.
maybe were intending to be. I think is what
I do think
picked up
Zwick has some good intentions with this. Had some with this,
but
movie.
maybe didn't do like when you have a paper due the next day and
Yeah,
you
you gotta
don't do it till like
cram it
8
all.
o'clock at night the night before.
I'm sure he read many books about the Japanese.
I'm
when
sure
he made
he
Black
did.
Samurai.
No, I'm
I
sure.
don't
Yeah.
think he read. You really think he read that much about the Japanese?
I'm sure he could reference the books that he used.
Sure.
Really quickly, do you guys want to give like a very brief, just final thought on the siege to wrap it up?
I love
Yeah,
very
that.
quickly. Maybe starting with you, Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
Just a final takeaway from the.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was well directed. I mean, had some good I like good punchy dialogue. I had some good scenes. There were some good scenes with that.
Do you know who you fuck? Can anyone keep up with who you
Yeah.
fuck or something?
Yeah.
No color palettes.
What's that?
No color palettes or.
Yeah. Well, I think the fact that Annette Bening wore a black shirt. No, I don't.
Great costumes. Yeah.
Yeah. I have trouble following movies like this where there's a lot of rapid fire lingo being thrown around.
Right.
So I get a little bit lost. So I was a little bit lost in the first half of this. But it just felt like pretty competently directed and decently enough written thing. And I guess maybe I was expecting it to be worse, treating the subject matter than it was. So maybe I went I was maybe surprised. My expectations were in the gutter, maybe. So when it was just doing a half-assed job of not being. It didn't feel like these people are bad. It didn't feel like what I imagine American Sniper is like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's probably why my perception of it was softer. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I would watch it again. It's not like the action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like it's an action like some of the great action movies of the '90s.
Not as good as Die Hard with a Vengeance.
No. I was about to say that's the best one of the '90s.
Die Hard or Vengeance?
Have you seen Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Was
did
that
own it.
with
I might have
Justin
lost
Long,
it, but
or?
That's
No.
Live for Your Die Hard.
Oh.
What about you, Kirk? What are your final
Final
takeaway?
thoughts?
Yeah.
I was expecting a lot more caricatures of Muslim and them being the bad guys, but I didn't feel like they were quote unquote the bad guys in that movie that much. Because you give that facial expression. Did you think they were the bad guys that much in this movie?
The optometrist told me that my face sags, so I do this a lot, which makes it seem like I'm having thoughts that I'm
yeah.
just like.
Did you have anything else, Kirk?
No, I didn't think it was that extreme.
You didn't,
I
yeah.
just felt like it was just a standard 90s, 80s movie. They didn't, go that far in the characteristics of these people who were bad. I didn't see any evil in them. They were just trying to be these people who were fighting for what they believed in, like the American people. Yeah. So.
Well, as the guest, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, come on.
I have wanted to
A lot
watch
of
this
thoughts?
movie at very dark times,
Okay.
and I'm very afraid for what's going to make me want to watch this movie again.
What's gonna trigger your next rewatch?
What's going to trigger me to watch The Shield or the Siege? I keep wanting to say The Shield, The Siege again.
Ooh, The Shield, nice.
Oh yeah, well,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
law enforcement. That's all. The Shield and
Law
the Siege.
You're sitting in terror of what's gonna trigger your next. My final thoughts are this movie really makes me want to see Operation Ogre, which is about terrorists, I think, it's Spain or Italy, and they're trying to kill fascists, and that's a movie that apparently is all from that perspective. So I'm excited to watch that after watching The Siege. So
One
that's
man's terrorist is another man's
exactly,
freedom
yeah.
fighter.
So that's my next
You ever heard that
political
before?
No.
watch, and that's you heard my review, so yeah.
Well, let's hear that
Thank
one
you.
more time. What's
One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
There you go. Yeah.
damn? All
That's
right,
good.
never heard that before.
Wow, I remember hearing that like right after 9/11 in my public school education.
Oh, all right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, you can compare extremists to Muslim, but would you consider Christian to KKK?
Right. Yeah.
The West Wing example.
When does the xenophobic kind of thing come in, and when do you idealize? Yep. Yeah. True.
If there's a 1% chance, we have to stop Superman.
Yeah.
America is Superman, or is it Batman? Depends on your perspective.
No, Batman's definitely a bad thing. So
Oh, yeah.
we strive for Superman.
Gotta beat up all the.
Yeah, come on, we strive for
I like the
Superman.
James Gunn Superman. That was good.
Yeah, right?
It's punk to yeah.
Kindness
Yeah,
is
sauce.
punk. Or no, just what's undone, kindness is punk.
Well, thank you so much for having me on to talk about the
Yeah.
siege. Do you guys want to talk about me now?
Yeah, we
Right,
were talking
we're
yeah,
gonna
about
talk about
Matthias dying
Forward,
yeah.
Matthias.
The-
Are you gonna
You're-
cut? Are you gonna cut down the stuff where they're arguing about labor value and
No,
stuff?
I-
Or are you gonna keep that? You're gonna keep that?
I'll
keep
put
that
that in. Yeah.
Okay.
It's one. It's like
Can you play the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme under it and like cut back to me and you looking at each other?
Yeah.
bum, 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 bum.
We have a lot.
You hate innovation.
Bye-bye.
You hate labor.
That's not even what I'm talking about. You didn't even. Yeah, that was funny.
Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN.
Bars.
Bars?
Bars.
Those are bars.
Oh,
I'll have
yeah,
a-
bars.
I'll
We
have
never
a-
talked about that.
Oh,
You wanna
was
mention
the
bars?
innovation thing all about the bars? Like,
Yeah,
are we supposed
what?
to-
None of you tried my bars. I cooked the bars. That was labor. Did you cook the bars?
Yeah, I made them.
Wow, they're not bad.
They're very flavorful and the sweetness doesn't overpower. That's nice. It's like a nice balance.
Totally by accident, but yeah.
They suck.
Really good texture. It's almost crunchy, but then there's a soft. Yeah, good bars. I like those.
I
Bars.
noticed the specificity in your compliment.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, we ended it a while ago, so I don't.
Oh, I'm excited to see how much of this makes.
Yeah, right?
What I would do is maybe the labor stuff. Like you could probably cut maybe some of that and then like curtail it to. That's maybe what I
I
would
might
do.
cut out whatever you and
Just
Nick
put
are
it at the
talking
end.
about.
You could, yeah, you could put it at the very end.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
He's
I
done
mean,
it before.
it's like interesting because they are getting heated. I don't know.
happens
Which is
all the
great
time.
for the show. Yeah, we need a debate for the show. But I mean, like, if it's genuine, I'll.
Well, that's the thing is they try to get us to hate like the overseas people, the terrorists, the immigrants, but it's really, nah, man, they're just devaluing their labor and trying to make you a wage slave.
I mean, maybe
Nick,
there's an
any
element of that.
thoughts?
It's like
No, that's what Nick's saying.
because
right?
they're not getting value from their labor that devalues
Yeah.
them, and then you need to have like racist
Right.
kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Well, I was talking about that in relation to the American dream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like and there may be
I-
versions of the American dream and other.
I'm-
How much are we? We've had a 5-day work week for how many decades? So when they tell us, when Elon's like, oh, it's gonna be universal high income, it's like
He doesn't say it like that. I'm sorry, but he makes
No,
the
but he's making a good point though.
I agree, but the argument is that abundance works out to where we're all high income and we're all like America. But the problem is that for everyone to have the same resources as the United States, we would need 5 planets.
it's mathematically impossible for everyone to be like high income. I mean, like if you printed money and gave everyone $1 million, $1 million would not
Be
be
worth
$1 million.
nothing, yeah.
So
That's basically what they do with our treasury now, which is terrible. But
I'm saying
Yeah.
you can't do it, and you're agreeing with. But like
I agree with you. Like we agree on what the problem is. We're always trying to figure out how to fix it. Is the thing, and like
So
I
I was-
like to think debating about movies
How
will get
would
us
we
closer.
fix it?
When I'm making fun of Elon Musk saying something, it's because he's saying something that is mathematically impossible.
Okay, but like he's arguing against people that are at least not like he's arguing against like 3 other guys that have the ability to shape how AI is going to work out in the United States, and he's arguing at least for the idea of humanity continuing to exist at a elevated function. Like he thinks that is a possible outcome. He's not saying that is for sure where it's going to get to. He's saying that's a possible outcome and that is the one we should try and move towards if possible, and it can be controlled at all, assuming we don't Terminator ourselves.
I mean, even if he's advocating for AI that benefits humanity, like, are you saying that's what he means when he says universal high income? Because universal high income to me means universal high income.
Well, does income matter if we all can like have enough to eat, have a safe place to like put our stuff?
It wouldn't matter as much if if we didn't have the forced scarcity of those things. But like, but then again, that's not the same. Like what he's saying is universal high income. He's not saying we'll have access to these things. You won't need income. He's saying universal high income.
Can I at least I agree with you that what is that, and can we trust anyone who's talking about it? God, no, of course not. No one from Ezra Klein to Elon Musk should be trusted on their abundance conversation, because they're in an elite circumstance talking about this. But what is the change that Elon has made in the past like couple of years as it relates to AI?
What the change that?
Yeah, because he was like, OpenAI has to be a non-profit thing, and he got out the game. And then he's made a change in the past couple of years that he has articulated, and that change is that he was gonna stay out the game and say like, no, AI is going to kill us all. But now that we're hurtling towards the cliff, he is trying to compete to at least get the have skin in the game and affect where it goes. That's what I'm saying.